We're diving straight into a deeply tragic, highly complex explainer today. We're looking objectively at a chilling case out of Saratoga Springs, Utah, and unpacking the massive legal battle surrounding the deaths of 44-year-old Jessica Lyman and her 8-year-old son, Eli. The suspect at the center of this, Jessica's own 15-year-old son. Now, as we walk through these police affidavits and the legal fallout, we have to remember the suspect is presumed innocent. But let me tell you, the details authorities have laid out are staggering, and to really understand what's at stake here, we need to look closely at the evidence.
To understand exactly where this investigation started, I want to draw your attention right to this quote. Imagine the scene. Right after the victims were discovered, authorities sit the 15-year-old suspect down to talk. Completely unprompted, he states he wasn't aware of any guns in the home.
Now, you might be wondering, why is that so important? Well, the context of that statement is literally everything. According to the police affidavit, at that specific point in the morning, absolutely no one had told this teenager that anyone had actually been shot. From an investigator's standpoint, bringing up guns before a cause of death is even officially established, that is a massive, immediate red flag.
Section 1. The horrific discovery.
The grim reality of this case began at 10:11 a.m. on March 28, 2025. A 911 call comes in from Jessica's older daughter, who had just returned home from staying at her father's house. She walked into an absolute nightmare. She found her mother and her 8-year-old brother Eli unresponsive in the master bedroom. First responders arrived to find both victims shot in the head with small caliber rounds. Eli had already passed away, rigor mortis had set in. Jessica was faintly gasping for breath, but tragically, she succumbed to her injuries 3 days later. As prosecutors pointed out, the confined, highly specific nature of these wounds strongly pointed to a deliberate, intentional act.
While officers were actively clearing this horrific scene, they encountered the 15-year-old suspect. He was calmly exiting his bedroom into the hallway. He told police he had just been taking a nap and hadn't heard a thing. Given the sheer brutality and the extreme proximity of the crime scene literally just down the hall, his remarkably calm demeanor, combined with that unprompted denial about knowing where any guns were, became the immediate pivot point for the entire investigation.
Section 2. A mountain of evidence.
So, what did investigators find when they started digging? A search of the home yielded some highly suspicious items. They found 2.22 caliber shell casings right there in the master bedroom, but it was the suspect's bedroom that drew intense scrutiny. Along with an empty Pilsner can, BB pistols, and tactical gear like plate carriers, police found handwritten notes. And these weren't just doodles. They explicitly referenced forensic science, specifically serology, DNA, and firearm testing. That points to a suspect who is acutely aware of exactly how criminal investigations operate.
And alongside those forensic notes, detectives found another handwritten piece of paper indicating suicidal ideation, paired with this incredibly disturbing phrase, "This is a murder story." For a prosecutor who is trying to establish intent and state of mind, finding a physical document like this is a deeply significant puzzle piece. The investigation quickly extended out into the neighborhood. Surveillance from the night of the murders showed a figure in a dark hoodie and a skull mask, seemingly actively dodging Ring doorbell cameras while carrying a backpack. Fast forward a couple of weeks to April 13th, and that exact backpack is found abandoned at a riverfront park. Inside, bloody rubber gardening gloves and a matching skull mask. Crucially, authorities noted the backpack was covered in dog and cat hair that matched the pets living inside the victim's residence.
And here's another critical link to that masked figure in the video: footwear. Detectives executed another search warrant and seized a single, right-footed black Nike slide slipper from the home. This shoe perfectly matched the footwear the suspect was seen wearing in multiple pictures on his phone, and it closely resembled what the masked figure was wearing in the footage. Authorities allege that the matching left shoe wasn't just lost, it was deliberately removed and disposed of to hide evidence.
Okay, we need to talk about the forensic allegations here. And be warned, they are severe. Let's be clear, these are allegations, and the suspect is presumed innocent. But the physical evidence claimed by the state is extensive. Police noted scratches on the teen's right shoulder. They allege his DNA was found under one of the victim's fingernails. Furthermore, they claim gunshot residue was found on multiple items of his clothing. Even more graphically, reports indicate his DNA was allegedly found on the shorts Jessica was wearing, and within seminal fluid discovered on the bed.
Section 3. Digital and audio clues.
Moving online, this suspect had a heavy digital footprint. Through search warrants, detectives accessed his Discord activity on an old Samsung tablet, where he allegedly discussed the homicides online with friends. They also found photographs on his device showing him holding a black 9mm Glock handgun at his father's house, which proves his prior physical access to and familiarity with firearms.
To really wrap our heads around how this situation deteriorated, we have to look at the timeline. This didn't just happen in a vacuum. The conflict dates back to the summer before the crime, escalating to an intense audio recording the night before the murders, leading to the devastating discovery on March 28th, and concluding with that discarded evidence weeks later.
To give you an idea of the environment inside that home, police recovered deleted text messages from July 2024 between Jessica and her son. The exchanges were severely fractured, highly vulgar. In one message, Jessica allegedly wrote to him, "I don't like you, go away, do you know how insignificant you really are to my life?" To which the teen replied, "I wish I died in your stomach, wouldn't have to put up with you." It paints a very bleak picture of a deeply toxic and volatile relationship months before the actual crime took place.
But without a doubt, the most damning digital clue is the audio from March 27th. Surveillance footage from a neighboring home captured an altercation. On it, you can hear a woman's voice, consistent with Jessica's, screaming the 16-year-old's name, followed by her yelling, "What are you doing?" followed by 3 distinct gunshots. For a jury, having real-time circumstantial evidence of the victim's final moments explicitly calling out the suspect's name, that is an incredibly powerful piece of the state's case.
Section 4. Juvenile versus Adult Court. So, where do things stand legally? Currently, the 16-year-old is formally charged in juvenile court with 2 counts of aggravated murder, which are first-degree felonies, and 1 count of obstruction of justice, a second-degree felony. However, prosecutors have made it explicitly clear they intend to certify him. That means they want to transfer his case up to the adult district court.
This right here is the absolute battleground of the case. The stakes literally couldn't be higher, and it highlights a massive debate within our legal system. See, the Utah Juvenile Court is geared entirely toward rehabilitation. We're talking closed proceedings, no juries, and their jurisdiction ends in a person's early 20s. Meaning, if he stays in juvenile court, he walks free in less than a decade. But if he gets certified as an adult, the whole focus shifts to punishment. He faces a highly public jury trial and potentially 25 years to life in a state penitentiary.
Section 5. The defense strategy.
So, how on earth does a defense attorney handle a mountain of allegations like this? Legal experts point out they'll likely take a 2-step approach. Step 1 is strictly procedural. The defense team is going to meticulously analyze how every piece of evidence was collected, how the search warrants were executed, how the DNA and GSR were tested. If the police broke any procedural rules, the defense will fight tooth and nail to get that specific evidence thrown out before a trial even starts. But if that evidence holds up, Step 2 is mitigation. They'll rely heavily on his young age, his developmental stage, and comprehensive psychological assessments to argue that severe mental health struggles and a highly toxic home environment played a major role. The goal there is to keep him in the rehabilitative juvenile system or at least reduce the severity of the sentencing.
Which brings us to the ultimate question at the very heart of this tragedy. Will the overwhelming weight of all this forensic, digital, and audio evidence overshadow the mitigating factors of a 16-year-old's youth and mental state? It is a complex collision of brutal facts and juvenile justice that a judge is going to have to untangle very soon. Thank you for joining me for this explainer. The legal proceedings here are really just beginning. Stay curious, stay informed, and we'll see you next time.